Your relationship with your father determines how you let others treat you. Give me 2 minutes and I'll explain how. Here we go. So, your father is supposed to be your first example of healthy or unhealthy boundaries. Let me explain. If you had a father that was too agreeable because he was afraid of mom, or one that was too angry because he hadn't done his work, you probably didn't learn what healthy boundaries look like. So you may cross them or allow others to cross yours. For example, if your no was shamed, bypassed, or even punished, you may unconsciously perceive boundaries as dangerous. So saying no feels scary as your nervous system anticipates the loss of love and safety. And as children, we not only create meaning from our father's presence, but in fact we inherit his absence. His silence is often the loudest message. His closure was a message. His busy was a message, which as a child you interpret as I'm not good enough. In essence, boundaries are about what we allow in and out. So even if your father is no longer around, his energy influences what you feel allowed to receive. Money, respect, and love. Because how generous your father was, emotionally, physically, and financially, often determines how easy you find it to receive from life. But at the end of the day, it's not whom our parents were that forms our identity as much as whom we had to become to survive them. So how do you know if you've got a father wound? Here's some common symptoms. You're a chronic approval seeker. You're afraid of conflict. Boundaries do not feel safe. You mistake compliance for love. You sacrifice to keep others happy. You feel guilty when disappointing others. You date projects or fixers. You're trying to earn love by overgiving. You stay silent around people you resent. You suppress your anger and rage. You mistrust masculine figures, and you struggle with all things structure. But one of the worst ones is that your father's avoidance influences your level of honesty. So if he avoided difficult conversations, was passive-aggressive, or emotionally suppressed, you probably learned that honesty is dangerous. So when you experience conflict with your partner, it's never just disagreement, but a constant internal negotiation between telling the truth or fearing abandonment or punishment. Now, over the last decade, I also found that people with a father wound secretly wait for a mentor, boss, or a partner to validate them, especially before taking action. This is an unconscious mirror of hoping for a father's blessing, and many never stop seeking externally for the stamp of approval that they wish they had received from their father. The uncomfortable truth is that most empires are built on the back of neglected children. So, how do we heal it? You can comment FF11 below and I will send you an invite to my upcoming workshop on healing the father wound. However, healing the father wound is less about forgiving your father and more about having the courage to own and embrace the shadow you inherited from him. It's not about saying, I love you, Dad, and more about learning to love his blood, light, and darkness that flow through you right now. Because as long as a person neglects looking at and taking care of the roots, they will never taste sweet fruits. And here's the truth, your father could not give you what he never received, but you can break the cycle by finally giving yourself what you both deserved.